Somi, welcoming you this afternoon. That's SOM, short for Somi. And the one and only is here. Hello.
The one and only what?
You.
Hi, Somi. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon,
Abuja. Excited to be back at work, even though it was an unusual, route to work. Route to work, I meant to say.
You had
today.
to
there was a lot of meandering and rigmaroling had to be done around the nation's capital. So.
And you dressed for the part. That's why you're not typical Spectre.
Yeah,
jeans and a face mask.
I actually had suits planned for today. As now, today's not the day.
Wisdom was
today is the day to wear a suit. You need to put on something that you need to run. It's going to be very easy for you. But even though some people have done some running already today, I'm glad I didn't have to do any running on my way to work. Hopefully it is so, because honestly speaking, I just want to come do my job and go back home, to be very honest. But welcome Abuja, welcome nation. This is Gabriel Speck's Finest, and we're in the newsroom, in journalism newsroom specifically. Mondays are known as Slow News Day because it's the start of a new week. Over the weekend, nothing really major happens. So for newsroom, it's called a Slow News Day, Mondays. But today has been very eventful. Different issues from over the weekend, even to today, this morning. So many stories breaking left, right, center. In the international scene, right here in Nigeria as well. I mean, I was listening to Sunny Side with SWAT, and then a lot of conversation was had. He himself was under fire in his own country. The No Kings protests over the weekend. It was literally all that happened in the U.S. over the weekend. The No Kings protest was a massive protest all over the U.S. In some part of U.S. I meant to say, and. It's just really interesting that as the man is working in the international scene, his backyard, some people are protesting that we no go agree. Some of the calls are, they say, authoritarianism. That's the word used, one of the biggest words used in the No Kings protest, and it's just really interesting. This morning, Abi, over the course of from last night to this morning, Amazon's cloud service unit, AWS, also experienced an outage, and that affected a number of, apps, TikTok, Reddit, even some banking firms, some fintechs that have platforms, apps where people engage, transactions on a daily basis. Some of these biggest ones, I cannot mention brands, all witnessed a significant shutdown or non-service, if I can put it that way. So it's just been quite an eventful morning, eventful Monday, and coming back to the nation's capital, Somi, where, on my way to work, I told you where's that place now where you have those houses, Rivers House, Kano House,
close to the Ministry of Finance.
Yeah. I just engaged some of the police officers there. Of course, they were not entirely open to having a conversation with me.
I was interested in hearing what was. So please do share. What happened?
I mean,
what was the engagement like?
We when you have clean intentions, I just really wanted to hear from them. But of course, it was made clear to me that they couldn't speak on the matter. Even I could sense apprehension, to be very honest. See, one thing just struck me on my way after I discussed with them. By the way, big shout out to CSP Naomi SM. She was the commanding officer. That if you're coming from Area 11 or that junction where you have those houses, especially I saw Rivers. I was like, I can't remember the name now. That place has been condoned off. You cannot go there further, like you're going towards Barnex. So you have to cut. I'm sure you understand. Yes, I'm struggling with the description, but she was the commanding officer there, and I had a good, personal chat with her, and it was on a personal level, so I cannot begin to divulge.
Oh no!
No, she couldn't have spoken now. So me, she's
So
not.
you were just chatting.
She's not the PR. Yeah. I mean, I did engage.
I thought you had some.
I did
feedback for us.
Feedback as regards
from the conversation.
No. I wanted to hear from them, from their own perspective. You know, I was actually hoping to appeal to their individuality on the state of the nation, just to hear from them. You know, they're also Nigerians, but I was repelled, basically.
Okay, but that is definitely the biggest news coming from the weekend into today, talking about the hashtag Free Nnamdi Kanu Now protest. So many reports have been pouring in from all over, from major entry points being shut, and then the extension of the entry points. At first, reports had it that it was just around the areas like the presidential villa, some areas that were designated no protest zones. That was earlier on in the day. Of course, commuters suffered greatly. I don't know if that's still happening now, if it's eased off, but I know that towards midday, I started getting reports about the cordon areas being extended to major entry points. So as far as, what's it called now? Some parts of Sokale, Buari area.
Yeah, so I heard Sokale was a big flashpoint this morning.
And then some other areas that were not cordoned off earlier on in the day ended up being cordoned off. And so perhaps as we progress in the day, we'll definitely get reports from you all if anyone was affected. But we also got reports that the protesters were dispersed with tear gas. I don't know. As at earlier on in the day, I was following very closely. I think some of our reporters said Shuare and some of the protesters were somewhere around the Maitama axis. But later on, reports I got were that they were dispersed.
Yeah.
And so we're going to be looking into all of that.
Yes, indeed. These are very critical issues. And I tell you, Somi, I have mixed feelings. About the state of the nation, the core theme of the protest. I personally spoke about it, I think, over Saturday and Sunday on Morning Cruise. I also have, there are clear insights. If you want to go by what the precept of the law says, there are clear insights as to what should be obtainable. But like I said, I have very mixed feelings, which I'm ready to share. Was the moment to come back from this break. But by and large, I think I'll start with what would have been my closing remark on this matter. In that, at the end of the day, let all do what we consider to be fair and just.
There is what people consider to be fair and just, and then there is what is fair and just. I just need to be clear.
Yeah,
which one are you advocating?
What is fair and just? What is fair
not
and just?
What people consider.
No, not what people consider.
Okay, all right. Apparently, we don't have a commercial break. So we can get into the heart of the conversation. I'll just give a brief update as to what the FCT is looking like. As at the time of some of the reports that we go here, and then we'll hear your take on it. It said that activities ground to a halt at a major building materials plaza in the Jabi area of Abuja after police fired tear gas at protesters and traders. The plaza, located opposite Chida International Hotel, where construction materials, including electrical systems and interior decoration materials, are sold, usually is known to be a beehive. However, it was shut down and all shops closed after the police said to have fired tear gas at the place multiple times to disperse protesters. Traders say the chaos ensued after police fired tear gas at the protesters as they tried to take over at the plaza. The first tear gas was fired at about 9:35 a.m. One of the traders, Good News Udomon, told reporters of Premium Times. He sells electrical materials, and he explained that he had marched from Jabi Garage area towards Chida Hotel Street with the police vans behind them. He was even thinking the police were protecting the protest, he says. And then all of a sudden, they began firing tear gas, and some of the protesters dispersed into the plaza to seek shelter. Then the police fired more tear gas into the plaza, forcing business owners and customers to scamper for safety. They noted that after dispersing the protesters, police came back 2 more times, firing tear gas indiscriminately, according to the report, and this prompted task force and management to shut down the plaza. A few other people who who do business in that plaza gave some of their reports. There was a certain car spare parts dealer who said she saw one person injured on the forehead as a result of the police tear gas. As at 11:40 a.m., the area was said to be scanty. We don't know what the reports are like currently. And of course, as of press time, Plaza was still shut down with no sign of business activities. 2 journalists working with the Agence France Presse, AFP, were also reportedly arrested during the protest alongside several other protesters, one of them being Nnamdi Kanu's brothers, according to the reports. Even Shura was said to have made some posts on X. I don't recall seeing any report that he was arrested, but Nnamdi Kanu's brother, he said, was arrested, his lawyer, as well as innocent bystanders. And according to him, they were manhandled and taken to the FCT command, and the police, they're calling for them to release them. All right. Kanu's lead counsel, Ejimako, also posted that he had been arrested. He said himself and a few others were at the FCT command CID. So, while concerns, of course, come up from time to time when protests arise like this about the manner in which the police handle protesters, we had the police spokesperson, Benjamin Hundeyin, also making a report saying that there are certain no protest zones being Aso Rock, the National Assembly, Force Headquarters, Court of Appeal, Eagle Square, as well as Shehu Shagari Way. And he said, and I quote, "Citizens are free to express their opinions peacefully, but not in areas designated as restricted zones by the court." So the question now becomes, outside of these areas listed and some of the areas that were cordoned, what happened that led to the dispersing of protesters? Except we can get any confirmation, which I still haven't gotten at this time, that the protest is still on.
Yeah, you've said it all, Somi. Would you not know for sure why police officers were triggered to disperse tear gas? I mean, see, this tear gas matter is one that I believe from 20 under Goodluck Jonathan regime, even when at the time the current president was in opposition, and quite a number of protests were held in Ojota area in Lagos State. I've forgotten the name. The name keeps eluding me. It's somewhere in my head. I can't just remember, where the National Assembly was picketed also. That's when, amongst many other incidences or scenarios, tear gas has been weaponized to disperse protesters. Now, before I go to this tear gas matter, first, I would like to start by stating that I strongly think anyone who wants to convene people for a protest, I strongly think it is a matter of responsibility to iron out traffic control units and security units, or a protocol, a traffic control protocol and security protocol for the protest. At least any place you are convening people from, you are gathering people from, even if it is happening at multiple locations in a particular city, all over, as long as people are gathered for a protest, I think it is only responsible that there's got to be a traffic control unit and security unit. Why do I say so? Some of the reports that we got this morning had to do with serious traffic congestion in major parts of the cities of the nation's capital because of protests.
It just needs to be clear. When you say that if you're convening a protest, you're saying that whoever is convening it should be responsible for organizing traffic control?
I am saying that they should play their part. That's what I'm saying.
But you are aware
not responsibility.
That for most of the areas that experience these congestions and traffic jams and all of that, it wasn't necessary that there wasn't control or traffic in place. It was that, according to the reports, the security forces deployed to some of these areas were conducting, like thorough searches and all of that. Those are some of the reports that we got.
Yeah.
So typically that would slow down traffic. No, are you saying that the convener of the protest should then have...
No. That's not what I'm saying, Somi. That's not what I'm saying. There is that, right? Even when I was coming at that Kugbo axis, the military checkpoint there had been away. He was back again today. But I am saying that there are some other places, and not just even this incident, there are some other protests where the protesters themselves are the one that obstruct traffic. And that's what I'm saying. You see, when we talk about freedom of expression, where you have freedom of expression, people also have freedom of movement. And it is very crucial. Today, some business, when we talk about these issues, I like to say that I wish people would have deep thinking about some of these issues and consider multiple sides to it. There are some people, they run their business on loans. A day from the business affects the payment of the loan at the end of the month or the week. So you cannot exactly tell that everybody wants to be part of a movement, as good as that movement may be. The theme of the protest is something that we all have spoken about. Free the man. The man has been granted bail by the court. But when protests happen, so it is now a joint effort by the organizers. But in an ideal sense, you should have, like you said earlier, where you said that the police van was following them. The police ought to be protecting protesters and ensuring that they're doing it in accordance with the law. And that also entails not obstructing traffic, because you have the right to express your thoughts, the right to associate. People also have right to move. So where your freedom of expression is now infringing on the rights of people to move who do not want to be part of the protest, then that becomes a problem.
Did that happen today?
That in some part of the nation's capital. Yes.
What part?
That happened today.
What part?
That happened today. I cannot exactly remember, because I was on X where a lot of people complained bitterly about the traffic congestion due to the protest happening. Now I'm not saying
again just to be clear.
We're not countering here.
This is why I'm asking. No, because you're making this point, and we just need to clarify why there was traffic congestion. Is it as a result of the protest, or is it as a result of the security deployment? So that we are
all of it happened.
Okay.
All of it happened.
Okay.
All right. So that is one. Now, talking about the protest itself, I believe that we've come to an age where the government needs to realize. We spoke about the emergence of young people last week on the show, and how young people are, like we've seen in Madagascar, in Nepal, where not young people are coming up and are taking over the narrative, asking critical questions, and going ahead to shut down the entire nation. So the government shouldn't think that this approach to shutting down protesters will always work. A time will come, if they do not refrain from weaponizing chemicals like tear gas to disperse protesters. Now, you asked a question earlier. What led to the dispersion of protesters by police with tear gas? What exactly? Is it that they convened in areas where they shouldn't be at, or they were already inciting violence? Because according to certain charters, certain conventions, these are the what's it called now? Conditions that must be in place. It is until there is sight of violence before you begin to use weaponized chemicals like tear gas to disperse people. And it even shouldn't be directly at the protesters. So we have serious flouting of order, of law, on multiple fronts. And I wonder, because the government of the day has got to realize they cannot keep doing this. They cannot keep doing this. We have a generation that is fast emerging, and it's already emerged, and they are growing increasingly confident in asking questions. One of the videos I saw over the weekend, which also trended alongside the Ned Nwoko and Regina Daniels issue, was that boy, the young man, not a boy, the young man that went for a singing competition by judges, and then he was torn down by the judges because they felt his song wasn't good. But did you see the reaction of the young man? It was some 10, 50. I remember Chike, the same Chike musician, even on Maumi. These are people that did not finish first. in competitions like Project Fame, like Idol, and they went on to have good careers. But we didn't. So many other persons that go for auditions of these competitions, they don't behave that way. But I remember this guy is a young man.
What exactly was his reaction?
Oh, you need to see the video. Have you not seen the video?
No, I haven't.
Oh, you need to see the video. The man told them to their face. There are 3 judges, a guy in the middle and 2 ladies on the side. I can't remember the names now. And this young man told the guy in the middle, he said, not you in particular, but he pointed at him. He said, you people, you will buy tickets to my show. That's what he told them.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he said, you will buy tickets to my show. And, many people came out and began to blast the guy. But that's not the point of the bone of contention here. The issue is we have a generation that is fast emerging, and they are increasingly getting confidence. They are going to ask questions. This thing that the government does with the police, always using tear gas to disperse protesters, it will not always work. A time will come, it may not work. And I wish that the police force, the leadership of the police force, and other security operatives would hear this and echo the words to the executive and tell them it will not always work. If it worked this time, we are fine and good. The next one, it may not be so. Because, I said something to someone over the weekend, and I said, off air, I said, this is how NSAS protest started. It was about police brutality. Some people who had been brutalized by police, some police, not all, some police officers across the country, the one in Delta State that led to the death of that man in Delta State, triggered the protest. And it started from there. But because there was already anti-government sentiments, that joined and it became a national sensation. The same thing here. So when we have a government that is not quite popular, people have mixed feelings. Many people are not happy. And then people are protesting. It has got to stop. Because there's no way it is right. I was reading some of the Chemical Weapon Convention of 1993, where, some of the laws were stated as regards usage of some of these things. You cannot use it when 2 countries are fighting. You cannot use, weapons like this. But it's allowed in localized settings, right? In the bid to manage riots, manage large-scale protests. And it is stated clearly, where there is no violence, even if the people protesting were not permitted by law to gather.
But they were permitted in this case.
I'm saying that even if they were not permitted by law to gather, in as much as the protest is peaceful, you shouldn't disperse them with tear gas. Is there in the law?
Well, it still remains to be seen, and that's the big question as we move on from here and go on to other stories, and also make room for you all to jumping in on the conversation. Why were they dispersed? I know I did get reports earlier on, somewhere around central area, towards these parts, around our office area. I think that was the first report that I got about hoodlums. That was the first time I got the word hoodlums as far as today's protest is concerned, and he said that some of them were dispersed. But then moving on into the heart of town, around some of these areas, because even from the areas that were said they were designated as no protest zones, when they were dispersed, they did reconvene around areas like the Apo, Jabi axis, with somewhere around Utako as well, and even at that they were dispersed. So that remains the big question, and we'll open up the phone lines and get your thoughts on it. But let's move on to our second story here, where the People's Democratic Party National Working Committee has come out to dismiss allegations of signature forgery raised by its National Secretary, Senator Samuel Anyanwu. Senator Anyanwu had written earlier on, what's the word now? To petition, or rather, raise the suit against some key people and bodies, stating that a signature was forged. His signature was forged, and the party came out to insist that he personally signed the signature to the Independent National Electoral Commission, announcing the party's forthcoming November National Convention in the presence of state governors, the National Working Committee members, and others. PDP National Publicity Secretary Debo Ologunagba, while addressing a press conference on behalf of the NWC in Abuja today, revealed that he personally signed several official letters, including the one notifying INEC of the party's convention scheduled for November 15 and 16 in Ibadan, Oyo State. So it's now a case of Senator Anyanwu's word against the NWC, because he's come out to say, look, not that I didn't sign that. It was not signed by me. Ologunagba insisted that letters were signed just hours before the 102nd National Executive Committee held on August 2025. And he added that the signing took place in the presence of key party figures such as Adamawa State Governor Ahmadu Fintiri, the Bauchi State Governor Bala Mohammed, Oyo State Governor Sheyi Makinde, Osun State Governor Demola Adeleke, and others. And he noted that during the NEC meeting, Governor Bala Mohammed, who chairs the PDP's Governor Forum, confirmed that all relevant letters, including the one to INEC, had been duly signed. So it is Senator Anyanwu's word, like I said, against the rest of the NWC and other members. He's insisting that his signature was forged. There was no such document attested to by him, giving the go-ahead for the forthcoming national convention. I remember somebody was talking about this earlier on, saying this was one of the tools that they were going to use to make a mess of the People's Democratic Party going into 2027 elections, because if the convention didn't hold, then chances are that they were not going to be able to field a candidate. But whatever the case is, whether this is as a result of a mole playing out the antics of an opposing party member or opposing party structure, the PDP does indeed look like it's going from frying pan to fire.
Indeed, that's the right way to express it, the fire pan to fire for the People's Democratic Party. But one thing I can tell you for sure, Somi, is that they're going to have the convention. That's one thing I can tell you for sure. The party is one that is accustomed to chaos. I mean,
what manner of accustomed can you be that where you can just be in right form, functioning properly, and oh God, is chaos you're accustomed to? PDP, come on. I'm not saying you. I'm just saying
it is what it is. I remember the convention, the one that Wike, they were struggling to get a date. There were lots of back and forth. This almost happens for the last 8 general elections, not 8, 4, I meant to say. PDP has, since they lost the presidency, basically, it's been one chaos to the other, build up to that convention. So it's not the first time it is happening. And again, it's a case of the NWC versus the man himself. The man says, that's not my signature, it was forged. The NW says, so now your signature with the C4 there. So generally, it's a house matter, one that is in disarray. I mean, that's pretty clear to everybody, because everybody that matters is moving. Just a handful of governors are left in PDP at the moment. But I do know they're going to have that convention. I'm very sure that at some point in time, we are very good at 11th hour emergency fire brigade approach to things. Quite a number of the conventions have been had in that manner as well. So I'm very confident, not as a member of the party, definitely, but judging by, past experience, past things that we have seen, I know they will have that convention. At the dying minute, they'll call themselves together, whatever is left of the party, whoever is remaining in the party, they will call themselves together. I'm sure they'll have a conversation. What I see that has made it worse for the party. The 2023 general election build up to the last general election. A figure like the Minister of the FCT was a very loud, cohesive figure, if I can put it that way. He played a key role. That one, the one in 2019 as well. He played key roles in ensuring that the party was at least able to, present a formidable force of some sort in those general elections. Now that it is clear that even though the man says he's still in the PDP, we clearly know that he's a strong ally of the president. And like they say in the holy book of the Bible, you cannot serve two masters. You cannot serve God and Mammon. So I do not know how the man, the minister of the FCT, wants to juggle both being the ally of the president and a minister in and landlord of the house, or not the house, but the area where the president stays. The president called him landlord of the FCT now. That's what the president said when he was commissioning the ICC. So how does he want to juggle both? He's still in the PDP, technically. He is an ally of the president. And I'm not sure the PDP really had another figure up until now that was able to bring everybody together. Before now, it was Atiku, the likes of Atiku and others in the political party. But we all know how things have panned out. So it's really a sad time for one of the biggest political parties in Africa, not just Nigeria, in Africa. In fact, at some point, they said they are the best in the world when they were in power. But again, this is politics. I've learned a very long time ago to remove my emotions and sentiments from political matters in Nigeria. Anything can happen. Tomorrow, any news can come up. 24 hours, a lot of time in politics in Nigeria. So I know they would put themselves together. Somehow, I'm sure they'll rally around. They know they cannot afford not to have a convention. They know they cannot afford not to have a presidential candidate. How that will pan out? Well, we all will have to just sit back, grab our popcorn, because I assure you, it is going to be a movie. But it is really sad to me that despite the massive defections, maybe some of these things that we are seeing also, how can I put it? Maybe that also lends credence to those who are defecting as a real reason for them to defect. Because many of them, they cite disarray in the political party. They believe the party does not support their ambition.
So the credible thing to do, and I use the word credible very intentionally, is not supposed to be that you jump ship. It should be that you figure out what the problem is and fix it so that you have a formidable force to present. It doesn't do any of them any good. Neither the party nor the people jumping ship. I think for them to just get up and
people jumping ship, do they have anything to lose? They don't have anything to lose now.
That's why I used the word the credible thing to do. Let me use another word, the honorable thing to do. But then again,
the problem, I'm sure you know,
ask me about honor.
I'm sure you know that honor and politics in Nigeria, they're words apart. It's just like you are in Middle East and you are talking to someone in Australia. They're words apart. So it's pretty clear. But I really have because the emergence of a strong opposition is very crucial. So from a democratical standpoint, it is sad what is happening to the PDP, because up until now, they have been anything close to the biggest opposition the APC as a ruling party has had. Not even the ADC, despite the coalition, comes close to what a united PDP can form in terms of opposition.
I mean, you never know. There's always the start of something. Teething problems and all.
Well, yeah.
There's still time
for the ADC.
If the Legislative House don't get to have their way and bring the elections for us forward to November 2026, which is barely a year's time, there might just still be time for any other party, any other one who dares to say, look, let's give the people a decent alternative.
No, I'm not talking about alternative like another candidate. I'm talking about political structure of a party.
And you use the word opposition. And this is the time. If you ask me, this is the time for any structure, any party, any what you may call it, that says, look, the people need to have something to be able to stand with going into the next election season. And they can start to be that opposition even now.
So what the opposition I'm referring to is quite different from the one you're talking about.
Oh, I see.
You're talking about opposition as in a figure people can rally behind. I'm talking about opposition as in an entire holistic structure.
We're saying I didn't mean one person.
No other political party.
I didn't mean one person.
No other political party right now. And huge respect to other political parties, But no other political party right now comes close in terms of opposition.
Right now, yes. But that's why I said, who knows? There might be
1
time.
year is not. 1 year is like a month in politics.
That's why I said, if
even if they move, they move the election. Somi, even if they move election is moved. Big if to June 2027. It is for politics done the right way, to the hinterland, to the rural areas, to rural communities, the right way, grassroots politics that can mobilize people massively. It's too late a time. You start the moment a particular election ends, you start already. Let me tell you something. So I'm sorry to say, and I'm going to say this and I'm going to shush so I can take calls. After 2023 election, I remember because I was in Lagos, just after, the ruling party began broad daylight open, membership registration. They were opening centers across Lagos State. I remember vividly, I was in the Orange Bank in Magodo, that's CMD Road. And just very close by, it was just an umbrella and a table. Like those that do phone booth or do POS business. And it was an APC registration center. Just an umbrella, a table, and a chair. They were registering willing people who are willing to join the APC. And that's what I'm talking about. So when you want to oppose, it is not 1 year to next election you start. You start your homework. In fact, if you're going to contest in 2031, you start now.
So here's the thing. I mean,
Yes.
I hear what you're saying, and you said that well within the caveat of politics done right. But when was the last time you saw politics done right, really? Yes, apart from the registration that you're talking about, trying to mobilize to ramp up the party numbers. Did you actually see anything happening that showed that there was groundwork towards? Even as I'm asking the question, I'm answering it in my head because APC did not play. I think right from 2023, they have been putting in the groundwork. The problem is they're doing it at the level of at the upper level, to just, what's the word now, to safeguard their chances come 2027.
Which
that's
is what
you're
any
seeing
political party would do.
But it's not what it's supposed to be. So if we're going to be talking politics done right, I agree. They should have started earlier. But seeing as the game is not played as it should be, what you're having is
What do you mean by the game is not played as it should be?
Apart from the what they call it, place setting happening, putting in figures here and there to lock in 2027 that started right after the election of 2023 on the part of the ruling party, because I don't know that anybody can say that what they've done is not strategic towards 2027. But in terms of the people, in terms of groundwork with the people, what they call it,
the
now,
people feeling the impact of
governance.
Of governance, yes. Okay.
Towards 2027 to be able to give you something to go for. They're not seeing that. So I actually feel like, and here I come again, but I actually feel like there is a lot that can happen between now and the next election season, structurally, if any party is serious. But the question is, are they? Let's take this break.
Naija people, you sabi event something wey go change the world? The time don reach to shine for Innovate Naija.
Listen to the special announcement from the FCT Public Health Department and Malaria Consortium.
The seasonal malaria chemoprevention campaign has commenced in the FCT.
The campaign involves the distribution of malaria preventive medicines that protect children who are 3 to 59 months of age from malaria.
The medicine is called SPAC, sulfadoxine pyrimethamine, SP, plus amodiaquin, AQ.
The SPAC are of two types. The one with the orange pack is for children between 3 months and less than 12 months, while the one with the red pack is for children who are from 12 months to 59 months of age.
Government-trained community drug distributors wearing SMC-branded uniforms will visit your houses, markets, quarters, estates, and barracks from June to October to distribute these life-saving medicines to eligible children.
These trained community drug distributors will visit your households once each month from June to October.
The community drug distributors will guide guide parents and caregivers on how to administer the first dose of Spark to eligible children, and they will do so in the presence of parents. They will also instruct the parents and caregivers on how to administer the day 2 and day 3 doses of Spark. In addition, the community drug distributors will issue SMC record card to each child that received Spark.
The parents and caregivers are to keep the SMC child record card in a safe place, which will be requested by the community drug distributors in the subsequent administration of Spark.
Remember, Spark does not treat malaria. Do not give it to a sick child. Take sick children to the nearest health center for appropriate diagnosis and treatment.
All family members, especially children and pregnant mothers, should sleep inside long-lasting insecticide-treated nets to prevent malaria.
For a malaria-free Nigeria, play your part. Ensure your child takes the malaria preventive medicines today and have healthy children free from malaria.
This message is from the FCT Public Health Department and Malaria Consortium.
This is Nigeria Info.
Nigeria Info.
Country whose leaders are what? Oh, okay. It says most of our leaders have flown their families abroad, and that's what makes them non-indigents. Innocent Elutriku with that message. George Shemeka says, good afternoon. Nigeria was once a country. The government is preparing the minds of the youth. Okay. Eze Ugochukwu Samuel. Gabriel, no matter how hard you try to put the road obstructions on the protesters, we all know the truth was that the security deployment where stops and search were conducted were responsible for the gridlocks. And Agro boss Andrew also on Facebook says, Gabriel and Somi, my people, I'm listening to you from Benue State, Kwande local government. Thank you for letting us know. We appreciate you. On WhatsApp, very quickly, let's see. Okay, looks like my WhatsApp is still updating. Let's take this call. Hello. Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Yes, you have a minute.
Okay, yes. My name is Emeka.
Welcome.
Okay, I have a minute. That means I will talk small and I will call back again later.
Okay, we can do that. Go ahead.
So, what I want to say is that to the Nigerian police, they should remember, I've always said it, highest will stay in that job is 35 years. That's if you started at 25, if you entered police at 25, because it's 60, you have to stay with 35. They should stop intimidating them. And this is what these people are fighting for and killing themselves and showcasing their power. Tomorrow they will still be the one to protest that their pensions are not paid. And they want me to sympathize with them. I will never sympathize with them, no matter what, because they have continuously intimidated and tried to harass these protesters. They were not armed. They were just protesting peacefully, and we are harassing them. It doesn't make sense. Thank you very much.
All right, then. Let's take the news. We'll be back.
Let's talk on 95.1
Nigeria Info.
Abuja. This is Nigeria Info.
developmental initiative.
I mean, this 500 billion naira sounds like a lot of money, but I don't think it's enough money to fix 2 kilometers of road in Nigeria.
By your estimation,
Not
as,
by
as an engineer,
not by my
perhaps
estimation.
we should be rooting for you as our next Dave Umani. Hopefully, when we ask you to explain the amounts, you break it down for us.
Please. What I meant is going by the figures we usually see for road projects in the country, this amount cannot fix 2 kilometers.
So basically, it's not done enough.
No, I was just being sarcastic.
Oh, there we go.
My point exactly is, we hear Mr. VP, we hear them, but I believe that we follow the news every day. In 2 years, 7,000 cases, convictions. He said, not cases. Convictions.
Yes.
I can't remember the last time I saw a high-profile case in the country. I can't remember. If anybody can, I would like to know so I can read up. This is, honestly speaking, 7,000 cases, and where it truly matters. So maybe they're referring to, Yahoo boys, the cyber crime actors, people that launder money on. Maybe those ones are the ones that made
They made reference to corruption cases.
Corruption cases, 7,000.
7,000 convictions.
On corruption cases.
This is in their fight against corruption and ensuring institutional accountability.
Yahoo is corruption.
So that
Yahoo is corruption. So because people follow the news every day. I can't remember the last time we saw a high-profile political office, public office holder in the country convicted. The one that does not have immunity, even passed. Can't remember.
But maybe the listeners have, so we should open the phone lines and allow them to get on the conversation.
Yes, and then when he says that, when the vice president said that they've not stood in the way of the judiciary or the AFCC law enforcement to do their job, I think if my memories do not fail me, because these days one needs to be very careful. Maybe I'm the one that has amnesia, but my memories do not fail me. There are certain persons who have, what's it called now? They have criminal charges of money, of money embezzlement, infringement, basically, against them. We've not seen their conviction. The former governor of Kogi State, Yahya Bello, Alpha. The last time I checked, I don't think he has been convicted. They said they're looking for him. Have they found him? Is he in court? We don't even know what the update on that matter is.
I mean, if I were just to lend voice to this particular point you're making, I would. There's one name that does always ring true, Betta Edu. And the last time I checked, sometime last week, she was at some engagement as the keynote speaker, lending her voice to matters of social welfare and all of that.
Do you know so it looks like those that eventually come down are sacrificial lamb or the fall guy in certain schemes at the top level. We've not seen any conviction. So again, it's now a case of what the government is saying versus what we are seeing. There's always that.
It's not hard now. Like I said, we can request for the list and study the list
I think
in
we
detail.
should.
I
think we should.
Let it not be like one of those lists where we heard again with the pardon list that some people ended up, putting in some names and government is having to review it. So maybe it might be a case of if you spend our time with that list, we might see that maybe there's some names there that need further investigation.
If there's any high-profile politician in that list, at least it would have made it to the news.
We will see it now. We'll get the list and we'll study it.
Even if they do the ruling, the court process, closed door, without journalists and media persons, at least it will shall be in the news. We shall know.
Let's get to the phone line. It's 07009510000 or 009-597-4869 and on WhatsApp 009-993-0137 is the number. Hello. Oh dear, got to that a little late. Call us up. Let's talk. Good afternoon.
Hello.
Welcome.
My name is from Nasarawa. You see, I want to talk about the issue of due to process. You see, Nigeria police, they are the problem of this country. And after, they are the ones who go, they cry, they don't pay them, they don't suffer them. And now the masses again, they see the protest for them. I'm telling you, you cannot do police anything. It will intimidate you. See what they are doing today. Intimidating people. Peace protest. What is there? Allow people to express themselves. Is it offense? Is it offense? This is not how to move the country. Release this man. You have released criminals, release Boko Haram, release all those guilty people. Leave them. Release this man. Let peace be read in this country. If you are still holding him there, you hold the country ransom. Why? Because every day is a problem. Allow the man to go to his house as others to go. Sekibumi is walking up and down like he's a chief of army staff in Nigeria.
Who? Who did you say just now?
Sekibumi, the spokes of Boko Haram. It's protecting, booming everywhere. Nobody don't arrest him before. But this man, it is how many years you keep him there?
Okay.
Not this to say, allow this man to go. You hold up.
All right. Thank you, sir. We need to make room for other people to talk, so please keep your contributions to no longer than a minute. Hello. Hello, good afternoon.
Hello, Somi.
Yes, good afternoon.
My name is Mike Wind Blows.
Welcome. Go ahead. Mike, we can hear you. Go ahead, please. All right, Mike, it seems your network is not cooperating. Hello.
I greet you.
Welcome.
So, good evening.
I can hear you, sir. Go ahead. What's your name and where are you
calling? My name. I greet you. Calling in the studio.
Go ahead, okay.
About the protest. Mazin Namikano is in DSS custody because he's a neighbor man. Look at Sunday Bone. In the same case, there's looking for freedom, for example. Now, why did they release the Igbo? Because it's a Yoruba man. Then Namikano is still there. You see? That's the injustice. Injustice in the highest order. And they are protesting and the police is targeting them. So unfortunate. You see the injustice in this country. It's unfortunate. Let me stop here. Let me listen to other Nigerians. That's the injustice in the highest order. Because Nnamdi is a evil man. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Geronimo from Duse Alahaji says, playing politics early, like the way Gabriel is suggesting, is a Sisyphean task in our climb, since political campaigns come from politicians and their pockets, unlike in other climes where the party gets donations from the public, which is a test of their popularity in the party's war chest. In short, it's costly to run a long-range campaign in this country. I had to go look up Sisyphia and Geronimo. Thank you for teaching me a new word today. Basically, it's used to describe a task that can never be completed, or something that requires a lot of hard work yet will never be truly finished. That's what Sisyphean means. And he says that is what playing politics early amounts to here in Nigeria. Okay. Good day, Somi and Gabriel. In a democratic society, the police are expected to safeguard protesters' rights to peaceful assembly and free expression, while also ensuring the rights of other citizens are respected. Excessive measures like roadblocks or tear gas can be counterproductive, causing disruptions to daily life, economic losses, and potential harm to innocent bystanders. A balanced approach would allow citizens to exercise their rights without undue hardship on others, promoting a more harmonious coexistence. I'm eager to know what this balanced approach would look like. But I hear you, Hamzi, as far as the tear gas. He says a roadblock is an excessive measure. Do you agree, Gabriel?
The roadblock?
As an excessive measure.
I'm in between.
You're in between. Okay. Let's take this voice note.
Good afternoon, Mr. Speaker and the madam beside you. Please, you are now telling us that I'm Mr. Oji, sorry for my Nigeria. If the police can't use tear gas to displace the protester, as we are complaining, that it won't work in the future. What is your suggestion that police should use to disperse protesters? Is it live ammunition or water cannon or what? Because government or the police can't allow you people just to gather and misbehaving. And we said that they can't use tear gas. What are they going to use to disperse them? As you are now against me, tell us, tell the public or tell the police what they can use. Not that we'll be suggesting that it's not going to work. So in future now, the police should use live ammunition or what? If the protest can't be peaceful, according to police, and they saw that there might be violence at the end of the protest, and they started using tear gas to disperse them, and you are now saying it can't work. What is it going? What are they going to use? Or you are now advising the protesters to carry their own weapon to fight their way against the government. I mean, don't try to mislead Nigeria, please. Tell us. Okay?
All right. I'll tell you exactly what it is I said, and I'll say it again. First and foremost, I think what you fail to understand, sir, is when I was speaking, I mentioned peaceful protest. And I'm not speaking just